Good morning students. 10th standard science subject. We are going to revise the important questions. Today's class is from physics. Unit 1 Laws of Motion. Students, get ready with one notebook and pen. Some 2-mark questions and detailed answer questions we will discuss now. Shall we begin? What is called inertia? The property of a body to resist any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion unless it is influenced upon by an external unbalanced force. This is called inertia. This is any body would like to continue in its state of rest or the state of motion. This is known as inertia. Okay. Next question, differentiate mass and weight. Mass is defined as the quantity of matter contained in the body. What is weight? Weight is defined as gravitational force exerted on a body due to the Earth's gravity force alone. SI unit of mass is kilogram. Symbol is kg. SI unit of weight is Newton. Symbol N. Mass, it is a scalar quantity. Weight is a vector quantity. Mass can be measured using physical balance, but weight can be measured using spring balance. The next question, state the principle of moments. At equilibrium, the sum of the algebraic individual forces, the resultant force is equal to 0. That is, the clockwise moment is equal to anti-clockwise moment. Force is equal to force of anti-clockwise moment is equal to force of anti-clockwise moment. The next question is state Newton's second law. Force is directly proportional to change of momentum by time. That is, the force acting on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of linear momentum of the body, and the change in momentum take place in the direction of the force. This law helps us to measure the amount of force also. So it is called as a law of force also. They are asking one detailed answer. Deduce the equation of a force using Newton's second law. So force is directly proportional to rate of change of linear momentum. So mass into final velocity minus initial velocity. So mv minus mu divided by t. They are directly proportional. We are introducing one constant term k. So f is equal to k into m into v minus u by t. For all the system of units, we are considering k is equal to 1. So now we are getting f equal to m into v minus u by t. Now we know that v minus u by t, that is change in velocity with respect to time, means it is known as acceleration. So a, it is denoted as a. So f equal to mass into acceleration, that is Newton's second law. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. This is the equation of a force using Newton's second law. Then next question, state universal law of gravitational force. In this, they are considering two bodies A and B. Their mass is m1 and m2. Force of the body A is F1, force of the body B is F2. The distance between the two masses is considered as R. Now they are deriving the equation. F equal to one constant term G, that is the gravitational force, G into m1 into m2 divided by r square. This G is called as a universal gravitational constant. Value we want to remember. They will ask in 1-mark question. So G is equal to, the shape of G we can remember 6. So G SI unit is, value is 6 point, again you write 6, then next number 7. Then 4 you write 7 4 into 10 power minus 11. Unit, force unit you know Newton, radius is meter square, and mass we know kg. So kg power minus 2. So the value of G is 6.674 into 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square kg per minus 2 power minus 2. The next one 2 mark question. While catching a cricket ball, the fielder lowers his hand backwards. Why? They are asking. The fielder experiences a smaller force for a long interval of time to catch the ball, so resulting in a lesser impulse on his hand. So important word you have to write is lesser impulse he receive on his hand. Then one more question, 2 mark question. How does an astronaut float in a space shuttle? Astronauts are not floating, they are freely falling around the earth due to the huge velocity. The astronaut and the space station are in having equal acceleration, that is apparent weight is equal to 0. Apparent weight symbol is R, so R equal to 0, apparent weight equal to 0. Then one detailed answer, important question. State and prove the law of conservation of linear momentum. So the law of conservation of linear momentum is nothing but Newton's first law is called as law of conservation of linear momentum. First you have to state there is no change in the linear momentum of a system of bodies as long as no net external force acts on them. Now we prove that law of conservation of linear momentum. How we are proving is, first you take two bodies A and B having masses m1 and m2 with initial velocity u1 and u2 in a straight line. Let the velocity of the first body be higher than the second body, that is u1 is greater than u2. Now during an interval of time t second, they tend to have a collision. After the impact, both of them move along a straight line with a velocity v1 and v2. Force on body B, here body B due to A, so Fb equal to m2 into v2 minus u2 by t. Now we are considering force on body A due to B, so now we want to write Fa. Fa equal to m1 into v1 minus u1 by t. We know the third law, Newton's third law, action force is equal to reaction force. Fa is equal to minus Fb. So in the place of Fa, you write that value m1 into v1 minus u1 by t equal to minus m2 into v2 minus u2 by t. Now you write v and all one side. m1 v1, you remove the bracket and write it. m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Then equal to m1 u1 plus m2 u2. So this is the equation. For the above equation confirms in the absence of any external force, the algebraic sum of the momentum after collision is numerically equal to the algebraic sum of the momentum before collision. So this is important question, learn well. The next one is describe rocket propulsion. So rocket propulsion they will ask in 4 mark question. That this law, rocket propulsion, is based on two laws, that is first one law of conservation of linear momentum, then next one is Newton's third law. So this rocket propulsion is based on two laws. You mentioned that first point. Then second point, in the rocket there is one tank, propellant tank. You fill it with the fuel. It may be liquid or solid. Now when the rocket is fired, the fuel is burnt and the hot gas is ejected with a high speed from the nozzle of the rocket, producing a high momentum. To balance this momentum, an equal and opposite force is produced in the combustion chamber, which makes the rocket project forward. So while in motion, the mass of the rocket is gradually decreases until the fuel is completely burnt out. Since there is no external force acting on it, the linear momentum of the system is conserved. The mass of the rocket decreases with altitude, so which result in the gradual increase in velocity of the rocket. At one stage, it reaches a velocity which is sufficient to just escape from the gravitational pull of the earth. So this velocity is called as escape velocity. So these questions you remember well, revise thoroughly. The last session there is a test for you. Go through daily, study well.